All right. Good evening, everyone. Thanks you for dialing in for tonight's IPO webinar. Here we have Hartanah Kenyalang Bhd will be listed on ACE Market on 9th of June. Hartanah Kenyalang Bhd are principally involved in the building construction services with a focus on institutional buildings, for example, school and other public buildings and other non-residential buildings, and also infrastructure construction service. They focus on bridge and roads. Later on, our Hartanah Kenyalang Bhd management team will discuss it in detail. All right, here we're going to honor the company executive director and managing director, Mr. Shi. Hi, Mr. Shi. Do you want to? Yeah.
Hi. I'm Sia here, BT Sia.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm
Sia?
managing director of Hartanah Kenyalang. Together with me is BK Sia, my elder brother. He's a deputy managing director, and Desmond Fu is our CFO.
All right. Welcome another executive director, deputy managing director, and our CFO. All right. Without further ado, we'll start for the corporate video before run through the presentation. Thank you.
Hartanah Kenyalang Bhd's fully owned subsidiary, Hartanah Construction, brings over 11 years of expertise in delivering construction and infrastructure projects across Sarawak. Since 2010, we've proudly managed projects of all sizes, from purpose-built buildings and residential apartments to structural, architectural, roadworks, and bridge works, showcasing our commitment to quality and growth in the region. We have delivered 33 projects with a total contract value of 146.5 million ringgit. Our work includes key sections of the Pan-Borneo Highway, Semarang Square Project, Matang Parade Project, and upgrading dilapidated schools across Sarawak. As at March 31st, 2025, our current outstanding order book stands at 142.5 million ringgit. Ongoing projects in hand include the Sungai Padas Bridge project, Sabau Bridge project, Sarawak State Archive project, Yayasan Sarawak International School project in Cebu, Yayasan Sarawak International School project in Kuching, Gedong Infrastructure Project, and 2 dilapidated school renovation projects. At Hartanah, we are proud to be part of Sarawak's growth and development. Together with the stewardship of our board of directors, coupled with the knowledge and experience of Mr. Peter Chai, our company is led by a dynamic and experienced key senior management team. Hartanah continues to maintain and achieve a standard of remarkable growth. From 2021 to 2024, Hartanah's revenue grew at a compounded annual growth rate or CAGR of 55%, from 34.1 million ringgit to 127.6 million ringgit. During the same period, profit after tax increased at an impressive 24% CAGR from 4.8 million ringgit to 9.2 million ringgit. Marking a bold new chapter, Hartanah Kenyalang Bhd is set to list 620 million shares on Bursa Malaysia's ACE market on June 9, 2025. With this IPO, Hartanah offers 198.4 million shares to the public, comprising of 120.9 million new shares and 77.5 million existing shares, opening doors for a broader community of shareholders to be part of our listing journey. Our IPO is projected to raise 19.34 million ringgit, fueling our ambitious growth plans. This capital will drive 4 key objectives: 3 million ringgit to purchase new machineries and IT-related hardware and software, 10.49 million ringgit allocated as working capital, 2.1 million ringgit for the repayment of bank borrowings, and 3.75 million ringgit dedicated to listing expenses. With approximately 70% of IPO proceeds raised from the public issue invested directly into expanding our core business, Hartanah is set to supercharge our growth and boosting profitability for the future. With a proven track record in delivering major projects like the State Archived Project, Sungai Padas Bridge Project, Sabau Bridge Project, and Yayasan Sarawak International Schools Project in Sibu and Kuching, we've dedicated 10.5 million ringgit or 54% of our IPO proceeds as working capital. This investment will help us to pursue new building and infrastructure projects across Sarawak, strengthening our commitment to the region's growth. Hartanah will invest 2.7 million ringgit or 14% of our IPO proceeds to acquire 6 new excavators, boosting our construction capacity and productivity. This expansion positions us to meet rising demand in East Malaysia's construction, power, energy and property sectors, securing a larger market share as we grow. In addition, we are expanding our design and build services for both building and construction projects using Building Information Modeling or BIM, an advanced 3D tool that digitizes various aspects of construction. As at April 30th, 2025, our tender book value totals 451 million ringgit, with 311 million ringgit dedicated to a design and build construction initiative. Hartanah Kenyalang Bhd will reach a market capitalization of 99.2 million ringgit at its IPO price of 16 cents per share. This milestone strengthens our foundation to grow and elevate our building and infrastructure construction services across East Malaysia to new heights. Hartanah Kenyalang Bhd, your vision, our blueprint.
All right. Thanks for the corporate video just now. Without further ado, we'll pass the presentation to you, Yap Seng. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Yap Seng. I appointed, this is an investor relation consultant of this new IPO company called Hartanah Kenyalang Bhd. First of all, please allow me to share with you where and how do you find the video of Hartanah Kenyalang. When you go to the YouTube channel, you type Hartanah Kenyalang and you type enter. When you press enter, you are able to identify the official channel of this public listed company, a new IPO. So with this, there's so far the company upload one video that is the corporate video you have seen just now. So with this, in the event, if you've forgotten what you have been seen just now, what you have learned at any time, go to the YouTube. You should be able to extract this video in order to make yourself to learn more about this company. Okay, please allow me to have about 10 to 15 minutes to brief you through the key selling point of this company. Thereafter, you will leave with about 40, maybe 35 to 40 minutes for 3 gentlemen to answer all the questions accordingly. Today, we are glad to be us, the Managing Director of this Hartanah Kenyalang, Mr. B.T. Sia, and Deputy Managing Director, Mr. B.K. Sia, and the Chief Financial Officer of the company, Desmond Foo. Okay, without any further ado, I'd like to share with you this presentation. Normally, when we run the presentation, we always tell you that what the company can offer to you. But probably today, I do it slightly differently. If you and me are the investor, what are we looking for when we want to take a look at this company? First, I would like to examine Hartanah Kenyalang. Prior to the listing, is quite equally spread the shareholding among about 4 major shareholders, which is the MD, BTCA, Deputy MD, BKCA, Peter Chai, one of the investors. He also holds the post as a major shareholder and executive chairman of the other listed company, DPI Holding Berhad, and Tony Chok is a COO and ED of the company. But subsequently, they need to acquire the main operating subsidiary called Hartanah Construction Sedang Berhad, incorporated into the Hartanah Kenyalang Bhd, the holding company. The shareholding remain the same. But immediately after listing, there is some offer for sale share for the 4 shareholders. They also have some new share issue. So with this, on the listing day, I know this company fulfill the listing requirement. About 32% free float in the market, fulfill the requirement of at least 25% to make the ACE market listing requirement. The balance of shares, 68%, is collectively owned by 4 major shareholders. They show that when I take a look on the board member, yes, they meet the requirement. Beside the 4 main independent other executive director, MD, Deputy MD, and COO, they have sufficient lady director, which is about more than 1/3, and about 50% of the director is independent director, save for Peter Chai, who sit on the board as non-independent, non-executive, in view of his shareholding as one of the major shareholders of the company. Led by the senior management team, today with us, Desmond Foo, CFO. Mr. Lee is a GM of construction and the procurement manager. The structure of the company, very simple, very straightforward. I will go through the organization structure. This company, when I take a look, 2 main business. First, building construction. As you show in the video, they build like school, they build international school, they build different buildings, should it be shop houses and certain low-rise buildings. But at the same time, they also involved to build the highway, they build the road, and they build the bridges. You and me know very well, in Sarawak, probably their bridge is more, the river is more than the road. Therefore, there's multiple bridges they are able to build. With this, I know that at the right place, this company able to provide the relevant construction services, especially a lot of investment to upgrade the infrastructure in Sarawak. Probably in my chat box, you think, yes, this is the company I'm looking for. With this, I think, examine the breakdown. The breakdown will be such a way that when the revenue growth of 34 million to 51 million to 71 million to 127, the breakdown in the early year is very much focused on infrastructure construction, about 60%. But when fast track to the latest year, about 31% is infrastructure. Early year, about 40% is building. Today is about 70%. So with this, I can visualize probably there's a shift in the profit margin, because when the pie chart change, definitely there's a change. Then what will be the change? We'll explain. We'll learn more about this about thereafter. We can take a look at the early day, quite a number of school. Then this school build there. After that, this was school time. And the good thing is they not only secure a job from the federal government budget, but also from Sarawak state government to build some institution building. Example like State Archive Center, take a quite significant contribution. And lately, they venture and upgrade themselves to build an international school, Yayasan International School in Cebu and the Kuching, who play quite a major contribution. They also have some project from the private sector, which increasingly play diminishing role. In the other word, focus more on the government project, less on the private sector. They also show that on top of the building, they build some infrastructure. Infrastructure early day, Cambodia Highway Sarawak, they participate and undertake some of the job. And lately, more to build like the bridge, Sungai Padas Bridge, as shown just now, and certain powering work for the Kuching International Airport. Instead of state government, lately they secure another bridge project, Sabao Bridge. Okay, this is the same information which you already watched through the video. I will try to skip. But the good thing is when they operate the business in Sarawak. It's not focused 100% in city, only Kuching alone or only in Bintulu alone. They spread across different locations in the Sarawak. Because only with that, they're able to secure a diversified source of the income from this stage. Okay, the minimum required, they fulfill. Okay. Now let me take a look. Whenever we examine a construction company, we like to know that whether got any limitation. This company secure CIDB G7 license, even in Sarawak SPKK G7. Indirectly, he give you the indication the company able to bid for the construction project with any value. There's no restriction like 10 million and whatever. Therefore, it shows that the tender project used to be like 10 million, then 100 million to a single project 200 million. That will give more room for the growth potential. Similarly, when they move in the market, some of the clients will demand, will you provide the quality? Yes, ISO 9001, ISO 45001. Okay. The competitive strength of this company is lie very much on the project they've been completed as well as the government job. Okay, let me go through something more important. Okay, first I examine the project have been completed. Okay. Okay, this is the building construction project. Okay. According to the latest annual the prospectus issue on the prospectus launching day of 30th March of 2025. First, I examine is the total contract secure up to date is about 427 million. But based on the cut-off date is 31st March 2025, the outstanding order book yet to recognize about 142 million. That will give investor assurance there's a certain level of revenue and profit visibility moving forward. Okay, that is the thing we shall be sharing with you. Okay, next. The future business strategy wish to pursue by the company first will be focused very much to grow the building and infrastructure construction service in Sarawak. Second, purchase of new machinery and IT-related software. Third, secure design and build project for the prospective client. Okay, let me study about how much money to raise for this IPO. The total money to raise by issuing the new share with this about 19.34 million. With 19.34 million, the allocation works in such a way that about 70% mainly focused for the productive usage in order to grow and generate future revenue. For example, talking about 54% is for the working capital. Because the more project you undertake, you need more working capital to finance it. Then around about 15% to buy the machinery, which both we add together about 70%. The balance 30% work in such a way that the first 10% is repay of the bank borrowing and about 20% for the listing expenses. Okay. Now I'll go through it. Okay. At this moment, they have been able to build, the core is more like the building like secondary school, primary school, international school. They also try to focus on more variety of the building able to build in Sarawak. With this, they give them more diversified income stream in order to sustain the more revenue and more profitability to the company. Okay, the money you're going to spend, you're going to buy this escalator. Escalator is one of very important machinery, especially when you want to do the job at the outskirts and you need to do a lot of work in order to kickstart the job. Okay, in terms of investment, because nowadays we are talking about digitalization. Therefore, when you want to bid for the contract, they need to have like IFCA software, they need to have those software in order to assist them to more accurate assess the cost and the detail whenever they tender for a project. So those are the things that will improve the bedroom effectiveness and efficiency in order to make themselves more competitive. Okay, now we are talking about the building information technology. This is one of the software that which they're able to help them to put all the 3D drawing in order to visualize before they actually put into action. During the Q&A session, please take the opportunity to learn and ask more for the management team how this BIM, Building Information Modeling, able to assist the company to compete and upgrade themselves in Sarawak. So in this Sarawak at this moment, based on the most like April 2025, they are bidding for village job, almost about 450 million. Out of that, about 311 million in respect of design and build. In the past, a lot of contract is depend on the job allocated by the main contractor to the subcontractor, or maybe certain percentage of the job for the building owner who allocate to them. But moving forward, they wish come and talk to the customer. Can I provide you a total solution? I will become the key contractor to help you design the hotel. I am the person who help you to build and coordinate with multiple stakeholders between these. This design and build already increasing become a demand and requirement if you want to continue to compete more consistently in Sarawak. You want to learn more, please feel free to pass more questions with the management team subsequently. I think with this, I will try to end my presentation. That this financial performance, which already well covered by this video, so I would like to skip. Probably subsequently, you would like to ask the question, while the revenue is growing, the profit also grow in tandem with revenue, but the profit margin in the past used to be like, say, about 13 to 14% of net profit margin. For the past 2023 and 2024, the profit after tax margin slightly lowered down to about 8 to 9%. Why that could happen? Then please remember to raise a question with the CFO, and CFO should be able to answer you accordingly with the relevant breakdown analysis. Okay. We'll try to not to repeat all what we have been learned from the video. On the listing day, it will work in such a way that the total IPO share they wish to offer to the public is about 198 million. The public offering will split into two. 19.5%, about 121 million. Whatever money they raise, that one's belong to the listed company, 19.34 million. It will work in such a way that about 5% is for the balloting, about 3% is for the print form and the eligible investor, and selected placement is about 11.5%. This is all the 19.34 million ringgit raised below the company. At the same time, in order to fulfill the listing requirement to have at least 25% public spread, existing 4 shareholders also opt and choose to go for offer for sale. It's a commercial decision that they let go about 12.5%, and this block of the share will be for the MITI approved Bumi Putra investor to apply under the MITI allocation. So I think with this, the indicative IPO price, which already fixed, is 16 cents. Multiple like total number of shares 620 million. The 99.2 million is a capitalization based on IPO price. The prospectus will launch in the Kuching on 30th April. The closing date of this company is 27th of May. So should you be interested to apply for the share, please mix up allocation, apply whether through the ATM machine, through the online application or stock booking house system. So with this, the balloting will take place on 29 by 9 of June 2025. That is the day this company is the first time to list on the ACE market of Stock Exchange Malaysia. Okay, I think with this, I will end my presentation. I'll try to cut it short and hand the floor back to the host. Thank you very much, Shirley.
All right, thank you, Biao Sim. Just now explain to us, Hartanah Kenyalang Bhd. Okay. Before we start for the Q&A section, okay, can you share a bit about like why did you name the company as Hartanah, given it might suggest as a real estate focus?
Oh, okay. Actually, Hartanah, it comes from Harta, Tanah, Rumah. So we combine it together, we call it Hartanah. We started this company in 2010. Initially, we called it as Hartanah Construction and Development. So we actually planned initially to start with construction first. And then after that, we will go into the development as well. But to make everything clear is until today, we do not have any development from our company. Yeah, we are purely on construction. That's why we changed the name to Hartanah Construction last year. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And your full listed company name is Hartanah Kenyalang, right? And what does it mean in Kenyalang? Do you want to share with us?
Yeah. Kenyalang actually is a bird. Actually for this in Sarawak, we have another name here called Bumi Kenyalang. So that's why since we are the Sarawak-based company, and that's why we decided to use this Kenyalang to represent our company, Hartanah Kenyalang. So to let everyone know that basically when you see this Hartanah Kenyalang, it's from Sarawak. Yeah.
Okay, that's me when I saw that Kenyalang is based on Sarawak, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there's got a few questions pop up on Q&A. The first is, what type of construction project does your company typically undertake in Sarawak?
Our company currently we focusing in this building construction and infrastructure construction. So for building construction, basically we are more into these institutional buildings, public buildings, and also purpose-built buildings. So and for these infrastructures services, we are mainly focused into bridges and road. And for the time being, 100% of our job is from government or GLC. Yeah.
Okay. Could you share the key construction project currently underway and how that is expected to contribute to your revenue in the near future term?
Currently we have 2 projects for Sekolah Daif. Sekolah Daif means dilapidated schools. One in Samarahan and one in the Bedok. It's both of it is in Kuching, and in Sarawak. And we have 2 Yayasan International Schools, one in Kuching and one in Cebu. And we have State Archive projects, which is in Kuching. It's the largest project in amount we have so far. And for infrastructures work, we have Sungai Padas Bridge in Tenem, and we have a Sebal Bridge in Bintulu, and we have Gedong infrastructures work, which is in Gedong. Yeah, so we believe, yes, we will contribute mainly into our revenue.
Okay. Like just now you're saying that there is a lot of the order book, right? Is the ongoing project, and does you have sufficient cash flow or financial capacity to support the tendering for the upcoming project?
For this question, maybe I'll pass to our CFO, Desmond Foo, to answer.
Okay. On sufficiency of cash flow, if you look at the use of proceeds, the IPO proceeds that we're going to get from the listing of Hartanah Kenyalang, you realize that 10.5 million is being utilized for our project cash flow. So that's one source of fund for our project going forward. The next thing is that we have funding from banks. Currently, we have around 130 million or so worth of banking facilities that we have from banks currently. And if you take March as an example, as at March, our borrowing from banks, out of that 139 million, we have actually utilized 52 million banking facilities. And these banking facilities are mainly for project. So if you look at that, our balance financing that we can draw down from the banks for future projects is roughly around 86 million. So typically for a bank, for each project, the bank will finance up to 20% for every project. So if we work backwards, say our balance banking facility that we can draw down from the bank is 85 million. So if you divide by 20%, you're looking at us being able to finance up to about 450 million worth of new projects. So if you use that rule of thumb, we have sufficient money to actually go and secure at least 450 million worth of project without going and to get more financing from the bank, based on the current outstanding banking facilities that we can draw down on. So that's where we are at financially for our future projects.
Okay. And from this, what is your historical bidding successful rate for open tender and your negotiated tender?
Okay, for this open tender, normally we're looking at about 10%. And for negotiate tender, I won't say it's negotiate tender, it's a selective tender, because sometimes we have to go through this pre-qualification. So from there, if you are qualified, then they will selective a few contractors. So if this kind of tender, I would say the success rate will be about 20% to 25%. It depends. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there's few questions about this. How do you differentiate Hartanah Kenyalang, your company itself, in compare with other listing company in Malaysia highly in the construction sector?
Okay, basically, of course, we have the whole team, which especially our key senior management team. On top of 3 of the executive directors, we have our key senior management, which is Desmond and Lee and Wistock. So we have more than 20 years experience on the construction side, and we are able to handle all sort of technical issue or every issue at site. So, and of course we have a very strong team, and most of our staff already with us for more than 5 years, some is more than 10 years. And of course, we have also our machineries, our own machineries. We have a lot of machines like excavators, crane, bulldozer, roller compactors, ship piling machines, and of course we have our own mechanic as well to take care of our machine and do all the maintenance works. And another thing that makes us a little bit different is we have our own laborers as well, so-called foreign workers. So meaning to say, most of the job that we secure, we can do it by our own, because we have all the full team, our own laborers and our own machineries. So only I would say some of the specialist job we will sub it out. So I believe those are all our strength.
Okay, and how many percentage of this you sub out for other subcontractor to do it?
It depends, actually. It depends on which sector. So for example, a building, so mostly like the M&E specialist job, we will sub it out. Basically it will be about 20 to 25%.
Okay.
It actually depends. Yeah, it really depends.
Okay. How is the current order replenishment, and are you seeing a steady pipeline for upcoming project?
Meaning to say which project we are tendering, right?
Yep.
Okay. We have 451 million tender book order. So out of which 311 million is from design and build. So as what I said, we always have a high chance on this part. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, from just now all we discussed, like which kind of project typically like have the higher profit margin?
Normally for this infrastructures construction will contribute higher profit margins. Yeah. Normally.
Okay. Okay, this question is asking about the raw material supply. Is your company exploring vertical integration to improve margin, like in terms of the material supply or property development?
So far we have no intention to go into material supply or the property development. We are still focusing 100% on our construction part.
How depend is your company on government contract, and what is the client diversification like?
Sorry, come again.
Like from your ongoing project and the tendering project, how depend is your company on the government contract, or do you tender any private contract?
As I said, we are 100% on these government contracts. It's either from federal or state or state government or GLC. So so far we do not have any private sector projects, but of course our doors are always open. If there's any chance of private project that can contribute revenue and profit to us, of course we will go into it as well.
Okay. 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 I think just now we discussed about this question, but how exposed is the company to cost inflation in raw material or labor shortage? Yep.
Control the cost inflation. Okay. Meaning to say on the material, sometimes yes, it will shoot up, especially during this MCO time. So for example, this is what we have done previously during MCO. The steel bar actually shoot up very high. So what we did is we actually, because the price fluctuates a lot up and down. So when it goes down to our budgeted cost, then we will just put in our order to lock in a amount of order first. So at least it won't affect our overall profit from there. Yeah, so this is normally how we control our cost inflation.
Okay.
So, and for labor shortage, so far, except for MCO period, so far we do not have this issue.
Okay. Just now you mentioned when the price keep increasing, and then you will secure the order first.
No. When the cost,
secure the raw material first.
Yeah, when the cost goes below our budgeted cost, then we will straight away secure first.
Okay. Do you plan to any strategy to hedge this commodity? Yeah.
No, so far we didn't.
Okay. Okay, another question about the order book again. What proportion of the current order book is from recurring client or consortium partnership, and how predictable is future project replacement? Do you want to try to add on more on this?
I think I can answer this. Because like what I said, most of the job is from governments. So the recurring clients, basically, they are so-called governments. It's all GLC, it's either state or it's either federal. Yeah. So for this future project, of course, we have a lot of chances in Sarawak because if you look back, I mean in this 2025 budget, federal government actually put in about 5 to 6 billion development expenditure to Sarawak. And for Sarawak government, they actually put in about 11 billion. So of course, we have a very good opportunity from there.
Okay. Is PK, do you have anything you want to add on?
No, not this moment.
Okay. Okay, just now all of us discussed is about like 100% the project is from GLC government funding, right? And how might shift from federal state to Sarawak state budget allocation that impact your project pipeline in Sarawak?
Federal state to Sarawak state allocation. Especially under changing federal administration, impact your project pipeline in Sarawak. Okay. So far, shift from federal to Sarawak state budget allocation. I believe, like what I said, this federal and Sarawak state actually for this 2025, we have about 17 billion development expenditure. So out of that, so okay, for example, government project for federal government, they have put in a lot of these new projects like what we have done previously, the Sekolah Da'i projects and all the purpose building projects. So of course, we will continue tendering for all these projects as well. And for state government, you see from our record for this Yayasan International School is actually all from state government as well. So in future, there will be more Yayasan International School coming out because now they are pushing out in Kuching and Cebu. So in future, there will be Miri as well. There will be Bintulu as well and other places as well. So of course, we'll continue tendering for these projects. And also because everyone knows that Sarawak now is a green energy hub. And our Premier already announced that from 3.7 gigawatt, he's going to push up to about 15 gigawatt. So we foresee a lot of these energy-related works. For example, substations, because we will need this substation to change this to supply to the end user. So in future, there will be a lot of these jobs coming up as well. So this is all the project pipeline that we are aiming for.
Okay, quite bright for the future. And how about for the IBS system?
IBS system, yes. With the previous project, we have quite some numbers of projects like the dive schools is all using IBS. So we have all the experience on this part as well. So it depends on government. Sometimes the requirements, if they need the IBS, so we will, of course, we'll do our proposal on this.
Okay. Do your company have enough skilled staff like engineering and project manager to support your future growth plans?
This question maybe I'll pass to BK to answer.
Okay. Before I mention about the growth of project manager or the personnel for the staff for the future project, I want to say that as of this moment, all the project that we have project manager for each project, come with QA/QC engineer, site engineer, safety supervisor, and safety officer as well. Of course, with some supervisor too. So some of the project we have completed, of course, we can actually move the whole team to a new project. So the answer for this question will be yes, we have all the team ready for the future project.
Okay. And then just now also you all mentioned like you have 5 to 10 years employee follow with you, and how do you retain this, your staff, your colleague?
Sorry, I can't.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're saying?
Like just now we discussed, you mentioned that you have 5 to 10 years employee that follow with you, and how do you maintain your staff in this period? Right, retain talent, yeah.
Of course, the salary skill is one of the major things, and then benefit for the staff as well. So, of course, good relationship with the staff will be the major, I would say, important way to maintain our staff as well.
And then you also given training to them?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Oh.
It's one of the items that usually we're going to do in our KPI as well.
In the future, will you hire more staff, or there is enough for currently?
Yeah, definitely. It depends on the project. If more project that we have, definitely we'll be getting more staff in.
Okay, will it got enough time for them to step in the project, help you to do?
Yeah. As of this moment, we have a few ongoing project, and we have a few project manager, and some of the project is going to complete. Definitely, we have enough a team to undertake the future one.
Okay. Okay, this for financial. Could you explain, provide some detail why the profit margin dropped for financial year 23 and 24?
Maybe Desmond, you can help on this part.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe flowing back from what my MD has mentioned earlier, we were talking that typically for infrastructure projects, it basically commands slightly higher margins because of usually complexity of the project and rural. So if you look at our computer project, the composition that was shared by Yap Seng earlier, you notice that in the earlier days, 2021, 22, our infrastructure sector contributes about 50-60% of our revenue. And also, if you look at the composition of the projects that we have, of course, infra, we have the Cambodia project. That one alone contributes at least 50% of our revenue. The other thing that you notice from the mix of projects is that there's a lot of dilapidated school projects that we have. I think earlier in the presentation slides, there was a slide on the map of Sarawak, Sabah, where you see all the dilapidated school is spread all over Sarawak. So for projects like the dilapidated school, the margins are slightly better. There's a few factors. One is because we are using IBS, so the duration of the project is less than 18 months. It runs from 6 months to 18 months, so the duration is short. The next thing is because of the accessibility of the project, where you don't have roads, certain projects you don't have road leading to the project, you don't have transportation that you have to go through river to access the project site. So this has been factored into the costing of the project. So projects like the dilapidated schools and most infrastructure projects garner higher profit margin. And if you see the mix in 23, 24, you see that the mix changed from infrastructure intensive project to building projects. So it's not necessary that building projects are lower, but typically that's the case. But we have extraordinary profits in 21, 22 because of the infrastructure project that we have. Typically, construction projects, we have around 10 to 15% gross profit margin. And the next thing, if you look at, I think the question didn't mention gross profit or net profit, but I'll just touch a bit on the net profit side. So you see, usually gross profit you flow down to the net profit margin as well. But you see that net profit margin actually decreased slightly further in 23-24 compared to the trend that you see in 21-22. The major contribution to the drop in net profit margin is due to the listing expenses that we incur. We started our listing exercise from 2020, mid-23 onwards. So from then onwards, we have already started incurring these expenses. So if you look at the utilization of proceeds, our listing expenses is estimated to be about 3.75 million. So from 23-24, we have already incurred at least more than half of that 3.75 million projects cost. So that has contributed to the reduce in the net profit margin, coupled with the fact that for listing expenses, tax purpose listing expenses are not tax deductible. So that further reduces our net profit margin. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, quite clear. Thank you, Desmond. Okay, just now you also mentioned that when using IBS system, there is quite safe timing, like 6 to 18 months, right? And how much time does the IBS system save compared to traditional construction method?
BK, do you like to answer this question?
Okay. Conventional buildings is something like we actually build everything on the site, which is including installation of rebar, concreting, and formwork. So meaning that it depends on the site condition, and then from there, it build up from the ground. So also the sequence will be like from the after foundation, then it will be first floor, ground floor, and then first floor and second floor. IBS is something like we build everything on the site. While we are actually doing the foundation work on site, they can actually build the precast column, precast beam in the factory. And then when it is ready, it will send to the site and for installation. So in short, this will definitely save a lot of time, because you no need to wait until the foundation complete, then you continue on top. Meaning that whatever has built in the factory and then just send to the site and do the installation. And this will definitely cutting down the time for the construction.
Okay, that's why from this you also improve the margin, right?
Yes. Because of course, time saving will be the higher profit in that manner.
The next question is, do you have any plan to expand your business into Kalimantan or Brunei? Yeah, into overseas market?
Okay, as I said just now, actually, state government and federal governments have spent for about 17 billion for this year. So since we are the Sarawak-based company, so definitely we will focus more on Sarawak. So we will grab whatever jobs that we can for the time being. But of course, the door is always open. If there's any good opportunity, yes, we might consider.
Oh. I think we answer almost all of the question tonight. Okay, before we end for this webinar, do you have any closing remark to share with our investor?
Okay, I believe Hartanah Kenyalang, we are at the right timing, right location to list our company. This is because the right timing is Sarawak now got a lot of opportunities, a lot of jobs coming up, especially from governments. Like I said, not only for the infrastructures, but schools, some purpose buildings, all the substation or water-related works. So it's actually benefit to the contractors, especially like us, which is based in Sarawak. So this is our right timing. So the right location, of course, we are in Sarawak. And a right person, I would say maybe is the our state government actually push up a lot of this project, and we have a very stable government as well. So that's it actually helped us a lot on this part. Yeah. So I would say we have a lot of rooms to grow, as we are not that big yet. So we can foresee with all these chances that the state government that pump in so much money. So I believe we will benefit from that in the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay. Also, Hartanah Kenyalang Bhd also is the second Sarawak-based company to be listed after successful listing by Reach Ten Holdings Bhd, which closes above IPO price. Yeah, I believe you will doing well in the future. And have anything more to add on BK and Desmond or our investor?
Just watch out for our share price once we get listed on June 9th.
Okay, once again, congratulations on our upcoming listing on the ACE market on 9th of June. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, BK. Thank you, BT and Desmond for tonight's presentation and Yap Sing. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.